The Syrian foreign minister gave reporters his first comments about the growing possibility of an imminent military strike by the US and its allies. It was one of defiance.
We are all hearing the drums of war around us. If they want to launch a war in Syria, I think the pretext of chemical weapon is frail and fragile. It is a false pretext.
Russia and the Iranians are among those saying a military operation conducted without the authorization of the UN Security Council would be a breach of international law.
We hope that the American and European leaders who seek such military attacks or make remarks about them have enough wisdom, especially seeing that the UN Security Council has issued no permissions in this regard and is apparently not going to issue any.
A UN spokesman was asked about this and was quick to dodge the question.
I wouldn't speculate on what a hypothetical future military action would look like. We have no way of knowing.
At the White House, though, they're expressing certainty that chemical weapons were used by the Assad regime. Obama's spokesman Jay Carney warning there'll be a response. The president only now has to decide what option to take.
The deliberations that are taking place now and the options that are being considered by the president and his national security team are not around the question of whether or not chemical weapons were used in Syria on a significant scale, causing mass death and injury to innocent civilians, to women and children. It is not around the question of whether or not the Syrian regime is responsible. It's around the question of what is the appropriate response to this clear violation of international norms.
The events of 10 years ago, when the US invaded Iraq without the authorization of the Security Council, show that if a US president wants to launch military action, there's no way to stop him. Right now, the Security Council is not sitting, they're not discussing Syria, but behind the scenes, there is still a flurry of diplomatic activity. Well away from this chamber, the US, UK and France are making efforts to persuade as many nations as possible that the action they now look almost certain to take is morally justified. James Bays, Al Jazeera, at the United Nations.